Peace. What up, good people? We about to get into it in a little while, man. Word up. Yeah, we gonna be off camera. Just audio, man, today. But yeah, we got some good topics. We gonna have some conversations, man. Talk about some stuff. All right. So today, man, we got a number of topics. We going over music discovery, and just like a key part of music discovery is the right song and testing your material to try to find the right song. And I want to know from y'all, like, how are y'all testing your music? Like, how do you find which song is going to be the right song to put your money behind, like to invest in? Is it just you saying, okay, I like it, and then taking some money and doing a whole campaign behind it? Is it, hey, let my friends listen to it? How are y'all how are y'all testing music? How are you getting music out there? Like, from the standpoint of discovery, what are you doing to get people to check you out and to know that you have music that exists? That's what I'm kind of trying to dive into first. Music discovery. So it's like a key reason why I chose this as one of the topics for today is the fact that a lot of times, man, when artists reach out to me, because I have this artist program and it's like exclusive to a few artists, but sometimes, man, you have artists that want to join. But the reality of the situation for those artists that want to join, right? Those artists that want to join is the fact that they do not have, or they don't really know which song they want to use. And that be the issue for a lot of them. They don't know which song they want to use. So hold on. Let me check something. Hey, now inhale, exhale with my flow. Yeah, man. So artists don't know which song they want to use. So it's like, hey, man, I got music. I got all of these different songs, but it's like, which one is going to pop? So sometimes, man, an artist will have like multiple things they do. So it's like, yo, man, I got club songs. I got songs for the ladies. I got songs for the street. I don't know which version of me people are going to respond to. I don't know which one they're going to like. All of this different type of stuff. So they don't really know which direction they want to take, And it's like, when you're at that stage, that's like an exploration stage. You are feeling out your sound and trying to see what people are going to respond to. Now, a mistake that a lot of artists make at that stage is putting good money after bad, right? Putting good money after bad, where they take money that they've already invested, right? They've invested money in recording a song, and then they take that song, or recording songs rather, and then they take some of that money and they go and they record a music video and get cover artwork done, and they don't even know whether that's the song whether that's the direction they want to take. So they got multiple songs that they invested in already, like a light investment from the studio time to the cover artwork to a heavier investment with a music video and all of that good stuff. And then it's just like, well, now I'm trying to decide, okay, well, which one do I invest in even more? Like, which one do I put a whole bunch of money in as far as Facebook advertising and playlist pitching and all of this different type of stuff? And then it becomes a matter of good money after bad, where you already invested and now you're going to double down and put it out there. And if people don't respond to it, a lot of times it's a cycle. They put it out and people don't respond to it positively, but because they've already made that investment in a song, they just go about and keep investing in it, trying to find something that'll make that song work or make those songs work because they've already invested in them so much. So it's like if they try a Facebook campaign and it ain't working, they want to, oh, do I need to find a course? Do I need to find a different tactic, tips? How can I make this work? And it's like, the reality is you can get stuff out of it where you get streams, but that doesn't mean that the song is a good song. Doesn't mean people love the song. It just means that you got streams. So the streams can be misleading. So it's like they keep trying stuff and trying stuff and trying stuff until they get streams. And then once they get streams, they feel like they've broken through and they've established and they've accomplished something, which is like, okay, you've accomplished something in the sense of getting streams. But the reality is, do you have fans? Right? Do these people love your music? Are they talking about you? And that's like the key indicator right there, whether people are talking about you. Like if people are sharing your music, spreading the word about you to other people. Like if those things ain't happening, then odds are you don't really have much. And a lot of times with streaming, it's like a fallacy. People get the numbers and then they feel like, oh man, look, I got numbers, but it doesn't really mean anything because they don't have fans. They don't have people that care about their music, So it's like, when it comes down to it, you're looking and you're saying, okay, well, how do you find the song that people are going to really connect with and love? And I don't know if the way to do that is to like go full throttle with like a big budget ad campaign to try to find out whether this song is the song, or even a smaller advertising campaign where you have some people, man, go and, some people talking about spending $5 a day on Facebook and stuff like that, man, and you like, all right, well, this guy's spending $5 a day on Facebook. That's what, like $1,800 a month or something like that, man. That's still not $1,800 a month, but like $1,800 a year. That's still, pretty steep of an investment for a lot of people out there. $1,800 a year on ads to invest in a song that ain't really the song. So it's like looking at it, you say, okay, well, how can you identify what type of song is the song? And I mean, there's things that we used to do back in the days and even things that you can do now. So it's like once upon a time, back when your boy Gift was out there doing his thing, it was open mics and showcases. Now, the caveat here that I can say is that none of this is free. So it's like, you see, that's like a big thing online. How to market your music for free. How to promote your music for free. How to distribute your music for free. Like, nothing's free. Everything is going to cost you something. So that's the thing here. None of this stuff is free. It all costs money, right? It all costs something. Hold on, y'all. Let me just do something right quick. Take a few steps. Hold on. Yeah, man. Nothing is free with a lot of this stuff, man. It all costs something. So it's like when we was running around and we was going to open mics and showcases, even though it was open mics and showcases and stuff like that, it still cost us money because you had to pay for transportation. So you had to spend money to get there. And then once you got there, you standing around, so you get hungry and you want to eat. So you spending money on food. So that's two costs right there. It's transportation and it's food. So you paying to get there and you paying to eat when you're there. and then you in there, and you might buy a drink or something like that, man, and then you got the cost of the drink, and then the open mic or the showcase might charge for people to participate in the open mic or showcase, so then you got to pay some money to participate in the open mic or the talent showcase. So that all costs money. And then you got the aspect of the fact that a lot of times, man, there's just other artists in there. And other artists are fans of music too. So it ain't just like, oh, ho hum, it's other artists. But it's not just like a fan type of audience. These artists aren't there to like enjoy the show. They're there to perform too, so they're waiting and just waiting for their opportunity to get on stage and do their thing. So a lot of times, man, it's not the most supportive environment, right? Everybody just standing around with their respective crews waiting to get their turn to get up there. And as soon as they go, they get out and leave with their crew. And then, the crowd dwindle down. So whoever performed last, it effectively ends up performing for nobody. So it's like there is no guarantee that trying to demo songs live at open mics and showcases, whether you're going to have an actual audience there. And then on top of the aspect of the audience, there is the matter of targeting and whether that is the audience for the song that you're performing. So it's like those are things that you can't control. You can't control targeting. You can't control who shows up at that open mic, So it's like if your music ain't their cup of tea, that's not to say that the song is bad, just to say that that's not the right audience. So it's like doing songs live, you are beholden and limited to people who are where you're at. So it's like local people and whatever the local sound is and whatever the local interests are and stuff like that, that's what you're pretty much restricted to. Now, when it comes to things like Facebook advertising and stuff, aside from the money and the cost of investing in it, on top of that is the fact that you don't even know if it's getting heard. So that's the thing with testing music on Facebook, because Facebook is charging you for awareness. Like you're being charged every time your ad appears in the feed. So every time somebody scrolls past your ad, you get charged. So they don't have to activate audio even. It could be on mute. So you don't know whether people are even hearing your song to run a Facebook ad and then say, okay, well, the ad performed poorly, so I must not have a good song. No, first and foremost, in order to know whether you got a good song is to know that people heard the song and didn't like it, or heard the song and loved it. So if you're running a campaign and you don't know whether people actually heard it or not, that's not going to do you no good. So Facebook ads, that's kind of out from the standpoint of testing new material and stuff like that, man. So it's like you look at these different things, and then outside of that, you got something like music focus groups where you got these things. I think TuneCore has a feature like this where you could go and pay a little bit of money to have a bunch of people listen to your song and give you feedback on it. And movies do this and stuff like that, but even they kind of drifted away from that. Like I remember when I went to see the movie Saw, they gave people like, I forgot, I think it was online or something like that. It's one of those forums or something where they gave free tickets to see Saw. And then you went to the movies and you saw Saw, and then when you was coming out, they gave you like a questionnaire to fill out to basically say how you felt about the movie. So you filled out this questionnaire, and it was like, yeah, I like this, I like that part, I felt surprised, all of these different things, because it's like focus groups is an unnatural environment. Like you don't know, like basically these people are being asked to do something. So you got a group of people who are being asked to give their opinion on music. They're saying, hey, listen to this and tell us how you feel about it. So in a natural environment, there's going to be distractions. There's going to be things that's going to pull that person's attention away. And it's like the music has to be strong enough to hold their attention. So it's like in a natural environment, people aren't going to be fighting to make sure that they listen to a song that they've never heard in their life and aren't sure that they're into the artist or anything like that. Like they're just gonna be playing music, and it's like if the song grabs them, then it grabs them and they pay attention to it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So it's like with focus groups and just saying, okay, here a group of people, y'all listen to this and tell me how you feel. It's unnatural because people don't really operate like that in real life. So you get feedback. People tell you how they felt about it. Hey, I think it was a hit. Nah, I didn't. I didn't like this part. I didn't like that part. But it's not. It doesn't give you like that real world experience of what it would be like if people just heard it the way that people naturally hear music. So it's like when it comes to discovery, I tend to drift more towards like YouTube ads because it's inexpensive and you can be sure that people heard the song. So if you're running like in-stream ads, effectively it just bombards the user. So it's like people are watching and go to watch a video, like a Pay Us No Mind video, and then your song comes on. And then it's like, do I like the way this sound or do I not? So it's like, they heard it. So the reaction is dependent on how they felt about it. So then you can look and you can say, okay, well, what happened when that person heard it? Did they let it play? How long did they let it play for? Did they let it play for the full 30 seconds? Did they skip it? What happened? Did they click the link to come to my watch page? What happened when they got there? Did they like the video? Did they share the video? Did they post a positive comment? Like those are things that you can kind of look at and gauge whether you got something worth doubling down on and investing more money in. So it's like you can find out what's up with a song on YouTube for like $5, $10, a penny per view. So it's really cheap to test new material to find out what you got with YouTube. So yeah, when it comes to music discovery, that's something that I tend to favor. But I like to know what you guys tend to focus on. What ways do y'all find that's effective when it comes to music discovery and getting your music heard and stuff? Not so much music discovery, but investigating what kind of song is gonna be the song to really rock with you. Like what gives you that confidence in a song? Now when it comes to music discovery, man, I think a lot of people don't recognize the importance of DJs. So it's like you still got these mix shows. You got Mixcloud, stuff like that. The DJs that do the podcasts and stuff like that, because they're the ones that are serving up curated music to fans. So it's like people who want to hear good music but don't want to go digging for it. They just go to trusted sources. And the trusted sources are the DJs. So it's like a lot of times people are turning to playlists which are like DJ mixes, but they don't come with the same level of cosign. So it's like a DJ playing a song is like that DJ saying, yo, this is something I feel like you need to check out. And a lot of times these playlists don't really have that kind of pull. Like people don't even know who the hell these people are that made these playlists, So it's just like, okay, well, I was looking for this Mary J. Blige song and this 90s R&B playlist popped up. And now I'm listening to this 90s R&B playlist. And your song just happens to be a song on that playlist. But it's not coming under the influence of the person that put the playlist together. So it's like the DJs carry a tremendous amount of influence. And then the other aspect of it is recognizing that it's not about the numbers. It's not a game of how many streams am I getting. It's about impact. So it's like a DJ could have a small group of listeners, but those people are tastemakers. They're the people that will be fans of somebody's first fan and go and champion an artist to other people and tell other people that artist is somebody they need to check out and stuff. So a lot of times, man, it's like big things have small beginnings. You go out and you get a few people to rock with you, and then those few people spread the word and expand you to all sorts of other groups of people. And then you grow from there, right? But yeah, man, music discovery is a unique thing. Now, there's some other topics I want to get to, but let me check something and see what's up. Hold on. Yeah, I see Lone Wolf Logic had asked, do you know any sites or channels where an artist could get their songs criticized by a pro, maybe provide tips to make the material more marketable. I mean, I've thought of this, man, and I've ran this past a few people that I know that are in the business. But it's like the challenge. The thing here is this, sir. The thing with that is this. There's a lot of bad music out there, and people do not want to sit and listen to tons of bad music and give feedback on stuff that just ain't good. So it's hard. Like people ain't gonna volunteer to do that, first off. So you're not gonna have a whole bunch of people that volunteer to do that, to say, okay, let me sit down and listen to a bunch of songs that I kind of know are gonna be terrible. Yo, I remember, matter of fact, it was like a live stream event that the rapper Jim Jones was doing, where he was kind of doing that. It was like, a bunch of people perform, and then he have to give them feedback after their performance. And I mean, it was tough because it's like you got to say something. So it's like you sitting there and it's like all of these performers, they finish, they looking for you to give them some type of feedback. You don't want to drag them. You don't want to say negative things that's going to hurt their feelings and stuff like that. So you got to try to find positive things to say. Hey man, I like the beat, that was pretty good. All right, man, maybe you should, try this, try to give some constructive criticism. But it's like, dude, yeah, man. It's like just sitting there and subjecting yourself to that for an hour or whatever is a lot. So it's like when it comes to celebrities and people with a name, they ain't doing that unless they get paid. And it's like, who's paying them? So it's like either the artist is paying them or somebody's putting an event together and they're paying them. But somebody is paying them to do that. They're not just going to voluntarily do that for the culture. That's not happening. Somebody got to pay, And then when it comes to people that, when they do say, okay, pay, then it's like a matter of who can afford to pay. So then it comes down to not a matter of who got good music, but who can afford to pay. And then the guy is just subjected to terrible music from people who got money, as opposed to people who got good music. So it's like the only way that can work is if there's like some type of filtering process where there's like an intern or something that's sorting through the music and then picking which songs he gets to listen to and stuff, man. But yeah, it's like the challenge is that right there. The fact that not everybody's doing music, a lot of it's bad, and nobody want to subject themselves to sorting through all of the bad to find anything good. And that's why when it comes to digital distribution, a lot of the distributors that be offering things like playlist pitching and marketing support and all of that different type of stuff be like, oh, it's only for artists who are at a certain stage. So it's like once you achieve a certain level of streaming, once you achieve a certain level of influence, like Twitter followers and Instagram followers and stuff like that, then they'll extend those services to you, right? Because it's like they're not sorting through all of that music. They're not going to sit there and listen to all of that stuff to find something good. And then, good in music is subjective. Who knows what is actually good? Your ear, and you say, I like it, but does anybody else like it? And the only measuring stick they have to know whether anybody else is going to like it are the numbers. So it's like they don't want to invest their time and resources in pushing something that isn't going to be successful. So they look at the numbers to say, okay, well, does this guy have fans or not, or people into him? And for them, the numbers matter because they know that those streaming numbers mean they make money because they're taking a percentage of your revenue. Now, an artist could have a fan base that they're selling music to directly, but digital distributors don't care about that because they don't get a percentage of money that you make direct. So they care about streaming. So they're looking at your Spotify stats, your Apple Music stats. They want to know whether people are streaming your music because that's what they get a cut of. For the distributors that offer things like those type of advanced services, they get a percentage. So they're looking to see, is this guy getting something where I could get a cut and make some money if we help blow him up, and if you're not, then they don't want to help you. So it's like that's the way that kind of shakes down, right? Now, Another thing I wanted to talk about, man, the death of Twitter, you know? And not that the platform is dying, like they're killing it off. Like it's not dying in a sense that there's no more Twitter, but it's dying in a sense that it's not the platform that people thought it was. Now, honestly, I don't know whether people even value Twitter in music. Like, is Twitter an important platform for musicians? Like, I know Instagram is something that a lot of artists use because it's so visual. So artists is showing themselves, showing their fashion sense, uploading performance videos, doing live performances, all sorts of stuff on Instagram. And then TikTok, you got the TikTok videos with people doing dances and all sorts of stuff. So TikTok, I know, is an important platform for artists. And I know Instagram is an important platform for artists. And I know YouTube is an important platform for artists. But I don't know if Twitter is a place that musicians really value like that because it's so text heavy. And even though people can post links, I don't know if it's really like a place where a lot of artists find a home at. Now, that aside, it's becoming all about money. And this is just like not just for Twitter, because Facebook and Instagram introduced something recently too, where they're charging people for verification. I think it's like what, like $12 a month or something like that. You know, that they're charging you to be verified on these platforms. And along with that verification comes boosted visibility. So it's like with Twitter, what they're doing is they got like a discovery feed. And that discovery feed, rather than it being like how it is on most other social media platforms, where it's just about the content that people engage with most. So that's how it works on most social media platforms. They got the discovery feed, and the discovery feed is like a general feed of like everything on the platform that is popular, everything that everybody is engaging with a lot, or stuff that they identify as something that you would be into, like based on your data. They say, okay, this guy watches a lot of sports, and this is a popular sports video, so we're gonna put it in his discover tab. But with this whole thing, they've decided to change that and make it about money, where if you don't pay for verification, your content won't be in the Discover tab at all. Like everybody has to pay in order to get their content in that Discover tab. And they stripped away verification of all of the accounts that the celebrities had and all sorts of stuff like that, where all of them now have to pay for verification and pay for boosted visibility. So it's like, if you don't want to pay, then it's like, get the hell off Twitter, effectively. And I don't think that with everybody being so used to getting everything for free with social media, that people are going to be down to pay for Twitter. I just don't see that happening, man. I just don't see it happening. I don't see people forking over dollars to pay for Twitter, man. Right? And another thing here is scary AI. Yeah, this is a topic that I wanted to cross, man. You know, let me just check Video 4.0's comment. He said, South by Southwest needs to pay you next year to get you on the panel because we need a few more real ones that keep it 100. I mean, listen, you got the people that pay for the panels, and everybody brings out people that reinforce stuff that they want people to believe. So every panel has a funder. It has sponsors and stuff like that, and people that are putting it together. And a lot of times those people have agendas, and they don't want to book people that go against that agenda and tell artists stuff that is going to hurt their sponsors and stuff like that. So that's where a lot of that stuff, you know, can be conflicting and kind of like, I guess, adversarial to the agenda of artists a lot of times, because it's like it's information and good information sometimes, but sometimes not, you know, and people are kind of restricted from, or not even people being restricted, but they just book certain people who they know are going to be, you know, kind of like friendly to everybody and not have anything that's controversial to say, even though what I have to say ain't really controversial. But it's like if you got a distributor that is sponsor, they don't want somebody that's going to be up there and be like, okay, well, you don't need to do digital distribution. The digital distributors don't want somebody up there saying that, you know? So it's like, yeah, man, it's just a lot of politics mixed up in that. But yeah, bro, it's like this whole AI situation is crazy. Now, I want to read something because this pertains to it. Hold on. Scary AI. Yeah, so you see, this plays a factor in the AI thing, right? They say major record companies release around 3,900 tracks every day. Their problem? That's a drop in the ocean. So they're talking about major record companies competing with independent artists on the grounds of quantity. How many releases get distributed to Spotify from indie artists versus major labels? So they talk about it, and the key thing to look at here is this graphic right here, where they're saying average daily ISRC delivery to digital service providers. 4% of releases going to Spotify are coming from major distributors, and 96% is coming from digital distribution, like people uploading music through TuneCore, DistroKid, things of that nature, you know. So again, and I've spoken on this before, Spotify and streaming platforms pay on a market share based system, a percentage of revenue based on your percentage of the total number of streams. Like Hungry Hungry Hippo. It's like you throw a bag of marbles on the floor. Whoever gets the most marbles gets the most money. And that's how it works. So it's like the marbles in this sense are songs. So the more songs generating the most streams get the most marbles and get the most money. So if somebody else is eating up all of the marbles, that leaves less marbles for everybody else. So in this sense, the more, because even though, you know, indie artists eat up so much of the supply, when it comes to impact, the major labels got it because they got bigger artists with bigger brands and more fans. But as time goes on, that quantity is going to eat at that, because you're going to get some of those artists that are going to find success and enough success to start to impact them and their percentages. So that's something that they're really concerned about, right? And the fact that indie artists can produce so much music. So it's like earlier I was talking about the whole thing with trying to find what's a good record to really invest in. And a lot of artists just dump everything out there. They go to a digital distributor like DistroKid, you know, really all of them now allow unlimited distribution for a flat annual fee. So it's like you just put out everything, and it's like lottery tickets. You hoping that one of those tickets strike the number. So it's like where they are more meticulous, and they have an artist record like 30 songs, 60 songs, and they listen to these songs and try to find a single that they really feel like is going to be the song to really knock people's socks off. Indie artists are just taking all 30 songs and putting them up on digital service providers and just letting the fans sort it out, right? Letting the listeners sort it out. Okay, well, if people like something, it'll take off. So you just got this flood of music coming in. Now, this leads me back to the AI thing. Now, the thing with AI is the fact that even for these indie artists who, if they get lucky, they can make some money from streams. And a lot of times, you know, recording artists ain't really making no money from streams, man. I see some of these artists got like 400 releases, and from those 400 releases, they're generating like maybe $3,000 a year from 400 releases. So it's like recording artists, it's like a challenge making like any kind of like livable wage off Spotify. And a big part of that is the fact that because it's words. So it's like a lot of the people who make money off of Spotify from streams and playlists and stuff like that are instrumental musicians, like people who make beats, composers, right? People who make instrumental music because it got no words. So there's nothing for people to disagree with. So it's like you record a song and you spitting lyrics over that song and you say something and people say, this guy's being vulgar. He's talking about doing this to girls. I don't like that. Or, this guy's talking about being sad. This girl's talking about being sad. She broke up with her boyfriend. I don't want to hear that. Oh, this guy's talking about being a street thug. I'm not into thug life. I don't want to hear that. Oh, this person's being socially conscious. It's making my head hurt. All these big words this guy is using. I don't want to hear that. So it's like the words kind of like factor into how much people can listen to something. Because it's like, am I in the mood for this message this guy is feeding me? But instrumentals, it's like people can listen to that all day because it's just music. It's nothing to disagree with, nothing that upsets you, nothing that throws anything off or anything to that regard. So producers can make a lot of money off of streaming, whereas artists is just really, really difficult. So for artists, it's more so trying to leverage streams to build a fan base and then leverage that fan base to generate revenue from performances or something to that effect. So there's got to be something else that you're moving on to. But it's like the thing is, whatever everybody's getting, even the producers, that Spotify revenue that they're generating, a lot of it is constructed around quantity. People releasing a lot of music because it's like, okay, well, if I get $10 for every song, per week, if I release 100 songs and that's 10 times 100 and all of this playing those types of games. So it's just like quantity, more. And it's like, no human can produce at the rate of an AI. So it's like if you got an AI program just kicking out thousands of tracks like per minute, you know what I'm saying? Thousands of tracks per minute, even from the standpoint of doing cover songs. Got AIs looking at like all of the top records in the Billboard charts and just kicking out cover songs for every song and the top of the charts, instrumental versions, acapella versions, all sorts of remixes, like 20 different remixes for the same song, just flooding Spotify with just like an enormous amount of music. It becomes a race to the bottom where nobody really makes money from streaming because the streams are getting split between so many people. So it's like, that's really the concern. And that's why a lot of labels are like really ringing the alarm bells about AI because they like, yo, man, if these programs start generating millions of releases and just dumping them on the network, and the music is like sonically good enough to get into these playlists and stuff like that, then you've got a major problem, Now, my sense is just always to feel like, yo, man, artists, I think, need to not be focused on streaming in the first place and to have like an actual business model where you're set up to like sell something to people as opposed to just make money off of passive listening. Because the golden rule, as they say, is that it's like if you do something that people are willing to pay you to do, you got a career. If you do something that nobody's willing to pay you to do, you got a hobby. And streaming kind of threw that out of whack. Really, social media threw that out of whack in general because you don't need to do anything that people are willing to pay you to do. It's the attention economy. As long as people will pay you attention, it's a win. So it's like, would anybody pay anybody to do a cinnamon challenge? Like, yo, man, how much would you pay me to eat this powdered cinnamon? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't giving you nothing for that. I'm not paying you for that, right? But people will watch you do it. So people can get on social media, get on Spotify, and get attention. People listen, people watch, but it's not anything people are willing to pay for. And once upon a time, if people wouldn't pay for it, you got out the way because it's like, clearly this isn't something that I'm meant to do. So it's like, at some point, like when you younger is different. So you young, you doing music, nobody's willing to pay you to do it, but you got no bills. So it's like there's no skin in the game. So it's like your mom paying the rent, she paying for your health care, all of these different things. So you just do music, you love to do it, you having fun, it's whatever. If people like it, great. If they don't, great, whatever, right? Oh, it would make me feel better if people love my music, but if they don't, hey, I like to do it, so what? And you just can rock out like that. But as you get older, you get into your 20s and your parents and everybody's looking at you like, yo, and I don't know what y'all type of situations y'all dealing with, but sometimes when you get older, for some of us, we've experienced this, where you hit your mid-20s, 25 or whatever, and then at that age, everything you do start to get on your parents' nerve, because they want you out the house. Now you old enough to be aware, right? So when you were younger, they could do stuff around you without you really knowing. So if your mom or whoever wanted to walk around naked, you were like, oh, you're a baby. So it's like, yeah, I could do this stuff. But once you get older, where it's like, well, if I walk around like this guy's going to be looking at me and thinking a certain kind of way. If I eat this or if I do that, if I drink, I don't want this other person always looking at me. I want to be able to watch the stuff I want to watch in privacy and not be bothered by it, right? Like, especially if they single and they want to be able to date and bring people home and stuff, and you got your crusty ass sitting there, on the couch when they come in with somebody that they trying to date, it's like, yeah, man, it starts to really grind their gears that you're there. And they start complaining about everything you're doing, like, oh, this guy done ate up all the cheese again. Oh, man, all the chicken, right? They got a whole bunch of complaints. And it's time to go. It's time to move out. Get on your own. And once you get on your own, then you got bills. You got rent. You got light bill. You got your phone bill. You got transportation. If you're dating girls, you got to pay for stuff. Take them out, stuff like that. So it's like life gets real. And then when life gets real, that's when you get confronted with reality. And it becomes a matter of, can I afford to continue to do music? So it's like, all right, well, if people aren't willing to pay you to do it, then you're not making money from it. And if you're not making money from it, then you can't pay your bills with it. So then you end up having to do stuff to pay your bills. So either you become a lifetime jobber, like a career jobber, where you're just working jobs, like you go from Rite Aid to Target to Walmart to, and just bounce from job to job, making enough money to like provide for yourself, or you go full throttle and go to school for something, get a career. In either sense, though, music becomes a hobby. You're working full time and you do your music whenever you can find the time to do your music, because the music doesn't pay for itself, because nobody is willing to pay you to do it. And you do that for as long as you can, right? Which is like when you by yourself, it's fun, right? But then at some point, you meet a girl usually, right? Or a girl meets a guy. More so it factors for the guy, because the guy most times ends up being, the one more financially responsible for things. So it's like you meet a girl and now she wants you to take care of her, right? Or she gets pregnant. And once she gets pregnant, now you got a kid. And now things are really real, because now you ain't got that disposable income that you had before. So before, you could just throw money away and say, okay, I'm doing music. It ain't making me no money, but I'm hoping that it someday will. So I'm just going to keep pumping money into it until something happens. But then once you have a baby, can't do that no more. Now you got to provide for that kid. So it's like, at the end of the day, reality used to separate things, used to distance those that could from those that can't. Because if you couldn't make it to the point where anybody felt like, yo, this guy is the guy or this girl is the girl from a musical perspective, where either A, they invested in you and helped you find the people that will put money in your pocket, or B, people just put money in your pocket, then ultimately you gave up. But Spotify and streaming and unlimited distribution and all of that other stuff create a situation where it's like a race to the bottom, where it's like unlimited for one flat annual fee. Spotify, get your music in there as a part of that package. Recorded music, borderline free. You buy a microphone and some, you got free audio recording software. Everybody's doing it. So it's like people can just keep making music, keep pumping it out, and not have to worry about anything, But yeah, man, I mean, the AI thing, I kind of deviated there, right? Crazy deviations. But yeah, man, I mean, the AI thing is like, yeah, it's going to really create a situation for people who have aspirations or who were making their living off of streaming, because that revenue is going to dwindle down. And the reality of the situation is artists need to be prepared for that and to start kind of constructing something more sustainable. And that is about building out your own thing, like your own website, your own system of engagement with your fans, a mailing list, something, a mobile fan club, something to that effect. That's what you kind of need, man. Right? Now, lastly, what I want to talk about is this thing right here. For those that don't know, yeah, I'm gonna start winding down the live stream. I think these last few weeks, maybe this last 3 weeks, will probably be like the last live streams I do on YouTube, right? And we're moving to more of a community thing, live video chats like on Zoom, where it's more conversational, and just building out a community and working with artists and building artists. So it's like the YouTube channel is still going to be here. I'm going to still be uploading videos, but the live streams I'm bringing to an end, right? So it's like 3 more streams to go, and that's going to be a wrap. Now, everything is going to start flowing through the PUNM website. So it's like, if you have not signed up there and you want to build with me and continue to be in the loop with the stuff that I'm doing and everything like that, you can get a Pay Us No Mind membership. Now this is a lifetime membership, because I'm not a fan of subscriptions. I know a lot of people ain't. And I didn't want to have artists in a position where it's like every month you're getting a ding for a charge, right? And then also artists being like, okay, well, every month now you're looking for content to justify the charge, because every month there isn't information that is critical like that. Sometimes it's twice a month. Sometimes it's every other month, right? But it's critical information that you need to know that will help you in your career. And also, in addition to just access the content, it also is a matter of access to me. So it's like being able to reach out to me and have me review something for you. Like if you come across a digital distributor that you want to use, but you're not sure what's up with them, I could take a look and tell you my thoughts on it, get some feedback from me about various things. So it just opens the door to a different kind of relationship with me. And it's a one-time fee, about $100, $1, you fork that over and it's you got access for a lifetime, right? And then it's like a digital thing, like an NFT type of thing that comes along with it. So you subscribe, I send you the digital pass. And then at the end of the day, if you turn around and the end of the year comes and you're like, you know what, I'm going to hang this music thing up, you can sell it to somebody else that values the information and that will want it, or pass it down to your kid if you get old enough to where your kid is now doing music and I'm still around, right? I'm still around kicking, right? Ready to pass information along to the youth. So yeah, man, it's a link to the digital passes in the description box. Y'all can check that out, man. As always, y'all can hit me up at PayUsNoMind on Instagram, at PayUsNoMind on Twitter, payusnomind@gmail.com. This is Gift signing off. Pay Us No Mind. Peace, good people. 1.